time when magic is more powerful than science, and only those who control the magic control destiny. They are the visionaries.
In 2086, two peaceful aliens journeyed to Earth, seeking our help. In return, they gave us the plans for our first hyperdrive, allowing mankind to open the doors to the stars. We have assembled a team of unique individuals to protect Earth and our allies, courageous pioneers committed.
All right, guys, we're starting the show in 2 minutes. 2 minutes,
Law
guys.
and order across the new frontier. These are the adventures of the Galaxy Ranger.
Test your mind. Test your mind. Test your mind. Mortal Kombat!
How's everybody doing today? How does everybody feel? Yeah, let me hear one more time. How's everybody feel? Okay, now just put it in. How are you doing? Awesome. My name is Mike Lynn. I'm the co-host of the Nighttime Show. I'm here with Matt Walker, co-host and producer and head writer of the Nighttime Show. Over here is Ryan. Now give it up for Ryan. And the host of the Nighttime Show, Stephen Kramer Glickman.
What's up, everybody? Good evening and welcome to the Nighttime Show. I'm your host, Stephen Kramer Glickman. How we doing? How we doing? Well, this is a very exciting time for us. We got a lot of fun stuff tonight. Ryan Stout is here. Give him a big hand.
We just did it. We just did it already.
Ryan Stout's going to be our Q&A guy. He'll be out there in the audience taking your questions at the end of each of our interviews with our celebrity people the whole night. It'll be very, very fun. To my right, Mike Glazer, everybody. Yeah!
And you all for coming.
The only man I trust to call in the middle of the night when I'm freaking out because I ate too many edibles.
Yep.
How many times has that happened?
Enough that I know I can help.
Yeah, it's happened a few times. Usually it's me calling you, just going, and it's because I'm watching like a movie, like I started watching a movie and it's just too scary.
Yeah.
It's like,
And that was the sound of music.
yeah, it's like Sound of Music or like the Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen movie or something. I just freak the fuck out and I have to call him and he's very helpful.
You're just holding a scared pug.
Yeah.
It's breathing hard, you're breathing hard.
Like my pug always looks like it's high, like it just has that face like it's too scared always. You know, like it just, and it makes that noise that like makes that noise.
Yeah.
Which is a healthy noise, by the way. And then all the way to the right here, we have Matt Walker. Give him up. Matt Walker is a great friend. We've been friends for 15 years. He's also kind of a bad person.
Yes, very true.
Not a great guy, but also my best friend.
But I'm very polite.
What's that?
But I'm very polite.
Yeah, very polite, but mean.
Yes.
And I am very nice but rude.
Yes.
Right?
It's a weird dichotomy.
Yeah, I do stuff. I play practical jokes on people that I don't know. The other day, or on people that I'm very close with. The other day, me and my girlfriend were at Saks Fifth Avenue, very fancy place. And I was getting her a birthday present, these very fancy shoes. And I said, hey, why don't you go for a walk in them shoes? You know, take a little walk around. And while she's walking, I handed my credit card to the guy that works there, and I go, hey, go pay for this real quick. But when she comes back, say we already sold the shoes. They're sold. Sorry, miss. And he goes, yeah, sure. And so he runs off to go do it. She comes back. She goes, oh, they feel great. Where's the guy? I go, I don't know what these people do. She goes, well, where's the box? I go, oh, fuck, I don't know. All right, can we get out of here? The guy comes back over and he goes, I'm so sorry, miss, but we sold those shoes while you were walking around. And I turned to him very loud and I go, what kind of person are you? You sold the shoes, she's wearing the shoes! What kind of person are you selling? I take down the shoes! Embarrassed her greatly.
Did Larry David come out?
Yeah, I become Larry David sometimes, just like a little. Matt, what happened to you today? I heard you had a rough day.
Well, when I was driving to pick you up this afternoon, I saw 200 naked people riding bicycles. And you know who rides bicycles naked? No one you want to see naked. It was 200 fat guys and 2 women. I saw more penises than I can count. There were lots of breasts though. Lots of breasts. But only 2 women.
You know what makes a penis look better? When it's smushed against a seat.
Yeah.
That improves it.
See, that would have been better,
Love
except
that.
they were stopped at a red light, so they were standing up on the bicycles.
Well, you have to air out.
Yeah. It was mortifying.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
You couldn't do it because your dick's so big it would get caught in a chain.
You have to take your dick to your leg.
That is a very true thing. I don't know if you know this about Matt, but he has a very large penis. So much so
It
that
makes him polite.
One time he was flipping through pictures on his phone, showing me like a hot girl, and he's showing me, and then his dick stick
Scroll too
pops
far.
up, and I go, ah! I go, what's that? He goes, don't worry about it, don't think about it. I go, don't think about it, it'll haunt my dreams.
Like he had to have 2 phones for it. Like for the top and bottom.
Matt, you took it in panorama. It's a big dick, Matt.
Can I jump on your prank story? Because I did a long time ago. We were having dinner at some restaurant, me and 2 friends, and when my buddy was making a phone call, I told my other friend, I said, let's just pay, and then we'll convince him we're walking out of the bill. Yeah. So he comes back, I said, Chris and I were talking, Rob, we're going to walk out of the bill. And my buddy Rob goes, okay, yeah, let's do it. I said, well, you go first, and then Chris will go, and then I'll go last. And okay, all right. And so he like makes his way out the door, and he's looking back like he's being the worst guy ever. Well, Chris and I are taking our time. We make our way down to the street, and then Rob's going on a date with this girl, and so he takes off in his car. I'm still with Chris. We get a phone call from Rob. He goes, I just stole condoms from Safeway. Fuck, we created a monster. Yeah.
Started a crime spree.
All right,
He's
well,
in
listen.
jail now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Send him our best. We got to bring up our first guest of the night because we got a huge show, and I'm super fucking excited to do this.
Should
Yeah.
we lay out like Ryan what the show is? And, like, what
Yeah,
the-
so
like,
here's
what's Ryan?
here's how this is gonna work. We're gonna bring up wonderful celebrity friends of ours to the stage. We're gonna interview them, talk to them about their lives and their careers. And we have amazing people from some of your favorite TV shows that are gonna be in movies. We're gonna bring them up here. We're gonna chat with them, and then we're gonna do a little Q&A. You guys are gonna win prizes throughout the night. Also, this is a big deal. We just got a bunch of new sponsors for the show. So you guys want something? We'll start with this. Big Mouth Inc. has sponsored our show. This is the Pass the Donut flying food, because giant flying food, 'tis fun. Be the envy of the park is what it says. This is from Big Mouth Inc., based out of Glastonbury, Connecticut. Who would like one of these? Ryan, why don't you hand this over to her, and we'll start.
Where's it going? Where's it going?
You get out of here, Ryan. You get out
Okay,
of here.
there you
We're gonna start this thing out. Ryan, you go stand back there with those.
Yeah. So at the end of whatever interview, you'll call for people to do questions. You guys just
Absolutely.
raise your hands. And
Raise
then
your
if I
hands.
like you, I'll come over to you.
Yeah, and maybe we'll give you a prize for doing it. All right?
Easy.
All right. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, our first guest of the evening. Are you guys ready? Are you excited? Okay, our first guest plays Crosshairs in Transformers, Carl on American Dad, and he plays everyone's favorite yellow dog, Jake, on Adventure Time. But you may have traveled with him throughout the universe as his character Bender on Futurama. Ladies and gentlemen, John DiMaggio! Stay right there, John DiMaggio! Oh, this is so exciting! This is so wonderful. How are things going?
Saturday night, motherfuckers!
Yeah! Feel that! Feel that!
Is that for the curse word?
Yeah, every time we curse, we have to hit the bell. Fuck it. All right. We looked through your career history, and it is
You brought up crosshairs.
Dude,
Let me. All right. First of all, let me. All right. True story.
Okay.
True fucking story. True story. I was at a theater in I guess it was 2010, Christmas time. It was when Transformers: Dark Side of the Moon was about to come out, and I was in the theater with my ex-girlfriend and people's, we were all there. It was Christmas. It was just like, all right, we're going to the movies. We're Christmas time, and Transformers: Dark Side of the Moon. The thing came up before the movie came. Before we went to, I forget what we went to see. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Anyway, Dark Side of the Moon, the preview. Wow, oh my God. And as it fades out, we're at the Cinerama Dome in Hollywood. Hack theater. And as it fades out, I just yelled, "Thanks, Michael Bay, you ruined Christmas!" The whole place exploded into laughter. 2 weeks later, I get a call. Michael Bay wants to see you for a role. And sure enough, I booked that fucking thing, and boy, oh boy, I helped ruin Christmas.
that is amazing.
What I'm talking about.
Where did you get started? Where are you from? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in New Jersey. Playing nachos, all right? Perfect. Smells like Elizabeth.
That's an accurate portrayal of what it's like to live in New Jersey.
Elizabeth. It's Elizabeth. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Union County. I grew up in Plainfield. Very good. Very nice. There we go. There we go. We know
It
each
sounds
other.
like you liked it.
I loved it. I love growing up in Jersey. I grew up 25 miles outside of New York City. I had roots in New York, and I got to exploit those roots and grow up in a fantastic metropolitan area that was easy to get around and easy to grow up in. Harsh realities with a dose of just like, holy shit, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Nice.
I love growing up in Jersey, and when you grow up in a place like that, you're exposed to all sorts of things, the highs to the lows, the east to the west, man. I mean, and I got hooked on theater as a kid, and
Did you do theater when you were a kid?
yeah. I was in a theater group. I was in the Peppermint Players.
Wow. The Peppermint Players.
We got our own little song. It was great. No, it was awesome.
What did you do? Musicals?
Well, we did I did musicals in high school and stuff like that.
What musicals did you do in high school?
I did Grease, I did Guys and Dolls.
Oh, nice! I'm a big musical
I'm
theater
not,
nerd,
I'm not, listen,
Who did you play in Guys and Dolls?
Come on. Nathan Detroit?
Nathan Detroit?
No.
Sky Masterson?
Sky Masterson.
Oh, no. There's only the three that you can play. If you're like a character guy,
I've never been in love before. I thought my heart was safe. I thought I knew the score. But this is wine that's all too straight. Yeah, fucking yeah. I did all that. I was just playing around.
Nice.
But I loved it. And then I went to Rutgers. They had the big theater school, and then I quit. And then,
Why did you quit? Why did you quit?
I actually got.
Were you asked to quit?
No, I wasn't. Actually, what's great was that I was on artistic and academic probation, which was. And listen, if you had to go to a movement class at 8 o'clock in the morning with a dance belt on, you know what a dance belt is?
Yeah.
Ladies, anybody? Okay, a dance belt. For those of you who don't know, a dance belt is kind of like a jock strap, except instead of the straps going outside your ass, it goes right up your ass. So it's basically a man thong.
Yeah.
And, 18, 19-year-old kid, after, going to the, frat row on Thursday nights and then have Friday morning movement class for a BFA program, not working out. No, I don't know how many times my nutsack got caught in that last thing. It was the fucking worst mornings of my life. God, sorry, that was a little too graphic. I apologize to everybody in the room, but that shit happens. It's real.
Yeah, I almost failed out of the American Musical Dramatic Academy.
Oh, wow.
She's one of them.
Yeah.
She knows. I almost failed out because I was so bad at tap dancing. And then I had to go back and retake tap dancing over the summer.
They want me to do that shit. I was like, I'm not going to. No, I'm not. No, it's
the teacher was like, he wrote down as notes, he goes, he's the loudest tapper. Really? Just physically, I'm going to be. It's going to be loud.
I had an experience where one time I was in movement class, and the movement teacher, there's no right or wrong here. She was a little woman from Arkansas, pain in my ass. There's no right or wrong here. There is no right or wrong here. I swear to God, she walked up to me and went, John, what you're doing is wrong. And then I saw her on an infomercial later on, and I was like, yeah!
Like a bunch of Tupperware just falls on her face.
Just
Teachers at schools like
horrible. You know that B-roll shit. You know what I'm talking about.
That's the part they film in black and white.
Teachers at schools like that have such weird fucking histories too. Like I had an acting teacher who he was in the movie Full Metal Jacket. Remember Full Metal Jacket? Yeah. He played Doc in Full Metal Jacket. Oh, yeah. He's the one that points at the shooter and then he gets shot a bunch of times. Yeah. And the night before the premiere of Full Metal Jacket, he shaved his head into a mohawk. All right? And he goes to the premiere, and on the way he gets a call from his agent, and his agent goes, hey, just quick thing. I know you got the premiere tonight, very exciting. Just listen, don't shave your beard, don't change your look at all. I have you auditioning for the lead in a movie called Big Tomorrow. Destroyed this guy's fucking life. He's only worked, aside from being an acting teacher, he's only worked as an actor about 3 times since then. Just fucking rough.
Those are the biggest balls on your face of life.
That's it.
Life.
Have you
the
had,
balls of life.
Have you had any of those? Have you ever auditioned for something where you're like, where it's like, you're like, where you feel like this is easy. I'm gonna fucking get this, and
no,
then it
never
work out.
Never, ever, ever. The moment you think that something is coming your way, it is out the door. It is gone. It's history. It is finished. It's over.
Ow.
It's over. It's over. Why would you even know?
Yeah, no, not at all. All right, well, let's talk about Adventure Time. Let's talk a little bit about Adventure Time.
All right.
People fucking love this.
side. Story about a boy and his dog. Started off working on it. It was a pain in the ass.
Why? Why was it a pain
It
in
was
the ass?
just weird. I didn't understand it. The way he recorded it was weird. The storylines were the storylines. I was like, literally, the sound engineer at Cartoon Network has more tapes of me going, "What the fuck is going on?" And there are more tapes. There are more incriminating. There's more incriminating evidence of me disparaging every artistic merit that Cartoon Network has had. I have gone on. It's ridiculous. How I would complain to my fellow. I would complain to D. Bradley Baker and to Tom Kenny. All right, SpongeBob, right? I would say, Tom, man, I don't get this. This is fun, not the fun. I don't know what's going on. He was like, hey, man, it's like this generation's Yellow Submarine, and I was like, all right. Okay.
That doesn't help.
It helped enough, and then D. Bradley Baker, who is a wonderful, wonderful voice actor and actor. He's just a great guy. You know, I told him about it, and he was just like, "Listen, John, you're having problems. All I want you to do is just go home and cry really hard with your big bag of money." I looked at him. I was like, "I'm sorry," and he was like, "Yeah, you fucking sure are sorry, you son of a bitch." What is this? It's a good time. Go home and cry in it.
Pendleton.
I'm working. But honestly, it came around. Like it came around. Things started to happen in the show. It just wasn't on its good foot from the get-go. The show wasn't on the good foot, and then it got on the good foot, and then it just blew up. It just exploded. And I knew it was like a cultural phenomenon when I saw Jake the dog on a bullet train in Korea. I was like,
Yeah,
and
it's a huge deal. Yeah.
So you know, and it's a marketing juggernaut.
And when you have a guy like Pendleton Ward,
And you know what? And
Yeah.
Pendleton is brilliant. Pendleton is amazing. I love Pendleton Ward. I love all of his work. I think he's a genius. There's a great story about Pendleton Ward when he was a kid. His mother took him at 12 years old to Mac Groening's house. Cold knocked on the door. And Mac Groening answered the door and was like, hello? And she was like, hi, this is my son Pendleton. He wants to be she's an interesting woman, by the way. He said, this is my son Pendleton, and he wants to be an animator. What can you tell him? And he was like, oh shit, well I guess I gotta talk to this kid and tell him what's up. And sure enough, Pendleton Ward, fucking Adventure Time.
holy shit, that's amazing.
That's a pretty cool story, right? And then, when the show was like in its second year, I brought Matt on stage at the Adventure Time panel in Comic-Con, and I because we were doing Futurama and stuff, and Matt Groening's favorite show was Adventure Time. Wow. And so I brought him on stage, and everybody was like sitting there like looking at him. This is a new show, this is great, and then there's the fucking guy from the Simpsons! Holy shit! Holy shit!
That's incredible.
That was awesome. It was great. And I do not have any regrets about the critiques that I put out about the show, because they were all rectified. I mean, it's still weird as fuck, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's great weird.
But it's great weird.
Yeah, like,
it's amazing weird.
They
It's
would do
like,
stuff like they'd be like, William Shatner's on this week and he's playing a ball of meat.
yeah,
He's some like,
absolutely.
like I've heard that a couple times. That like they'd be like, oh, we're casting for a bubble that talks.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Actually,
So fucking weird.
Pendleton Ward brought Billy West in to record a whole series of different voices in this Jake world as different character voices that he used for Futurama.
Oh my god.
So he played Fry and Zoidberg and Dr.
What?
Professor Farnsworth.
Yeah.
Professor Farnsworth and Jack Brannigan And all the characters, like he did a whole, but he played them as other characters in this particular episode. It was a total mind screw up.
Yeah, we gotta talk about Bender. Bender! See, that's the thing.
I love that reaction because that's honest. Because it's such a stupid thing. When I used to do that,
It's so good.
When I used to do that, when they recorded, they would call it like Bender like scatting, and then there was the Bender stroll, which was. Because they would tell you to like sing a song, but don't be musical. Because they didn't want it to sound like something else, so that they would have to pay for it.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is that I made up these songs, and now I'm a member of ASCAP.
Well,
Writers Guild, and I get paid every time my fucking. Every time that runs, or every time it's like dee-da-doo-doo-doo-doo, skip-dee-da-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Every time something like that happens, it's like, Johnny's getting $5.36. Yeah. That's that cheddar right there. That's for real. But yeah, we had such a blast on that show, and it was so funny and so smart and so scientifically grounded.
yeah.
Like all of the science jokes were real.
There's an actual mathematical proof
Oh,
based
yeah.
on the episode where they switch brains and they
Exactly.
determine how many times they have to switch brains.
Ken
and
Keeler.
Yeah.
Ken Keeler came up with that with the. I don't know it's an algorithm or if it's a.
He's got a
I
theorem.
can't remember what it is,
Yeah.
but he figured it out that how to get them everybody like not only to spread the virus of changing heads, but to bring everybody
Get it
back
back.
to
Yeah.
square. It was ridiculous. Shit, man. I got to record with like B. Arthur and shit, make out noises with B. Arthur. Imagine that, Golden Girl, me and a Golden Girl. Like I actually said to B. Arthur in the recording, like she was like, ooh, and I was like, oh yeah, come on, man, give me some of that, baby. I actually said that to fucking B. Arthur. I'm not right there. There it is. Yeah, it's so much fun. But the best part about working on Futurama is having Matt Groening tell you for so long that something else was going to happen and you didn't know what was going to happen, and then Disenchantment happened. Do you know about Disenchantment?
I know it was
Okay.
You're credited on it, but I didn't know it.
August 17th. August 17th, August 13th. August in the fucking teens, whatever it is. On Netflix, the new show by Matt Groening called Disenchantment.
Yeah.
With all the Futurama alumni that you want in the show. It's me, it's Billy West, it's Maurice LaMarche, Tress McNeil,
Phil?
but new people,
Yeah.
Abby Jacobson,
Yeah.
Eric Andre.
Oh.
It's fucking phenomenal. Nat Faxon, brilliant in the show. And it's Netflix, and so we're gonna do it. Yeah, everybody's got it. So it's there's 20 episodes of it. 10 are gonna come out in August. It's great. I'm playing the king. Basically, it's if The Simpsons fornicated with Game of Thrones.
Yeah, can we hear just a little taste of what he sounds
I
like?
can't. Not yet. No, I can't.
Good lawyer's not here.
If I did, everybody would. No, I can't do it.
All right, well, we have a little
Can't do
game
it.
we wanted to play with you before we do our Q&A.
I'll play a game.
All right, how about this? So we have monologue, we have scene. We talked about this.
Yeah, we did.
Which one?
Hey,
do you
all
want
right. Well, let's ask
I
everybody.
want to do the other one with Bill.
Okay. All right. Oh, say. All right.
It's up to you.
I'll tell you what.
Your first one.
I'll do the monologue.
Yeah? Oh shit! All right, ladies and gentlemen,
This is from Rocky IV. The climactic scene at the end after Rocky fights Ivan Drago and solves the problem of communism through boxing.
And They asked me to do it in a character voice, and I thought that this, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. Would you rather hear me do this as Bender or as Tracy Morgan? Tracy Morgan is Rocky. Let's hear it for Tracy Morgan. Let's hear it for Bender. I'm gonna do it as both because I can't tell. You gotta do the pout. If you're gonna do the Tracy Morgan, you gotta do the pout. I came here tonight. I didn't know what to expect. I seen people hate me, and I didn't know what to feel about that. So I guess they didn't like me much enough to leave though. During this fight, I seen a lot of changes. The way you feel about me, and the way I felt about you. Y'all are some crazy white people. That's for real. I like the titties though. Yeah, I like them titties a lot. That's for real. I like them titties. We in Russia. Yeah. In here, there were two guys trying to kill each other. But I guess that's better than 20 million. Yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is that if I can change, and you can change, shit, everybody can change.
Crush Fest. Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's do a little Q&A.
All right, let's do the Q&A. And if somebody has a question and you took a movement class in college,
That's right.
raise your hand.
If you've had the pleasure of...
We're in Los Angeles.
Questions, come on, guys, throw them up, guys.
Behind you, Ryan.
There we go, behind you.
Oh, perfect. Here. What's your question?
What is your numero uno, number one, all-time favorite voice that you've ever done?
Shit.
The thing. The most fun to vocalize.
Bender.
Bender?
Because he can say whatever he wants. You know, that one of my favorite lines of the show is he's climbing up the wall with Fry, a la like Batman 66, right? He's climbing up the wall, and they're going past a window, and Bender looks in and goes, you know, get a room, you two! The guy in the room goes, we're in a room! And Bender says, wanna lose some weight? You gotta love that shit, man. So that character opened a lot of doors for me, so I have to, if you put a gun to my head, I would say Bender.
Who else
Who
we
else has a
got?
question?
Come on.
No qualifiers. Here we go.
Everyone back there.
What is your favorite Bender quote of all time, out of all episodes ever in Futurama?
Shut up, baby, I know it. I think that line actually was a real moment because it really he really upped his funkometer. There's a little bit of stuff to that, baby. Before he's a little, he's just thin. And now, when he, he's getting released, on bail by his robot prostitutes, he's strutting out of court. Shut up, baby! I know it. That's some hot shit, man. That's some strong pimp hand right there.
Have you ever used Bender? Have you ever used the voice like when you get pulled over? You ever used it for anything? You ever used it at TSA to get you?
I think that would be fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
Don't you know who I am? Right. Can we get the airport police to...
A man in prison?
Yeah.
We got a question up front. Ryan Stout, where are you?
Up
You
front.
beautiful- you beautiful
I was going to grab that person over the corner, but okay.
Get this guy over here first.
So Futurama was canceled a couple times and brought back. Is there any chance of it ever coming back?
I think the only way Futurama's going to come back is in the last... All right, we had a thing that we did. Oh, boy. This is going to be tough. We had a thing that we did for a mobile game and it was with Chris Hardwick. No, it already listen. It already happened. It already happened. But we did a thing where we did a podcast to promote the show, and it was basically like a radio show of Futurama. And I think that might be the only way. But now, I don't know. I hadn't thought about that before you even asked it, and then I was like, hey.
All right, we got one last question.
One over here, and let's not bring the room down with it. How about that?
Yeah, Jesus
Bring the room down like this guy in the front.
Come on,
Jesus
asshole!
Christ.
Pull your shit together!
Ah, damn it. He didn't know. He didn't know.
Have you used one of your voices in like the bedroom? Any of
Do
them?
I use any of my voices in the bedroom? Fucked up.
But you brought the room up.
Nah, my wife wouldn't have that shit. She doesn't play that. No, not even, transform. He's like, not even a transformer? Bro, that is a nerd boner waiting to happen. Holy shit. Trying to ask you, fucks his wife using the fucking crosshairs voice.
All right, love. Yeah. Just bend up and then he put his body in
That's it. No way. Even Michael Bay is angry at that. That's fucked up. Nah, shit, I can't. No, there's no, listen. Hey, excuse me while I slap that ass. That doesn't work. Oh my glove. That pussy is great. It's just not gonna nope. Thank God that show's wrapped. Because they don't want to hear me say something like that.
Yeah, that's so great. If you guys are big video game people, go pick up Gears of War right now.
Oh yeah, Gears of War, and also Gears of War 5 is going to be coming out. I'm in that too.
Yeah,
Gears 4, Gears 5, it's some hot shit.
Woo, it's so good, guys. This is amazing. John DiMaggio, everyone, give him a big round of applause.
And follow me on the Twitter at John DiMaggio and all that shit.
Get him! Alright, let's keep this show moving. This next guy is a legend in his own time, whether you've heard him in the movie Sing, Secret Life of Pets, Monsters University, Minions, or The Lorax. This guy has been in fucking everything, but he is best known as the goofiest goofball in the Disney universe, Disney's Goofy, Bill Farmer!
Thank you. Woo!
I had to play the Warner Brothers Looney Tunes because you were in Space Jam.
Space Jam, yeah.
Who did you play in Space Jam?
In Michael Jordan. I was bog all the way on a big old chicken. And the fucking I could do that, and Yosemite Sam, which is a throat ripper, is like, oh, hey, rabbits, you know.
So cool. That's so cool.
Oh God.
Bill, I'd love to talk to you about how you started and where you came up. How did you start in this whole? How did you first find voices? Like, where did that first come from?
Well, my early career in porn was in. No, I was just one of the. I grew up in Kansas, and it was like there was someone from Kansas here. What part? Oh, I'm sorry. Kansas City. My sister lives in Kansas City. I was in a little town in south central Kansas. We had tornadoes and wheat, and that was about it. And I was just one of those kids that I just loved cartoons and I loved movies. There was nothing else to do. And so on Saturday morning, I would just turn the TV tuner back in the old days where you actually had to turn a TV tuner. And, you know, like on Saturday morning around my house, it would sound like, "Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my head. Yes, Inspector, let me go into the mountains. Where's the little bell? Oh, hi, the dog. Captain Grunt, sir. It'll say crunchy. No, hi, Miss Piggy. It's me, Crunchy Frog." And then my parents would turn the set on. It was kind of a strange thing. No, I did that. My parents didn't know what the hell to think of me. It was like, you know, I'd go up and do weird things. I'd see on TV, I'd see like George Burns, "Mom, I like some mashed potatoes." You know, I'm like, "Our Billy's weird," you know. They didn't know what to think of me. And so it just kind of became a thing until my friends started egging me on, and we'd drive through places like Burger King or something, and they'd say, "Do a weird voice." And I'd, you know, like, "I'd like a Whopper with cheese, and Arnold the Pig would like a Coca-Cola," and they'd look at it just became a thing, you know. And so I kicked around in radio for a number of years, and little podunk stations, and wound up doing stand-up comedy in Dallas for about 5 years before moving out to LA and getting lucky with an audition.
Yeah, and then you became, you were doing stand-up comedy in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And performing on this stage.
On this very stage, yes. About 1986, I guess, 85, 86.
That's so fucking cool. That's the best. That's amazing. One of my favorite things ever. We had Bill here to do stand-up on the show.
Oh yeah.
We're talking almost 2.5 years ago. Yeah, and you followed Dane Cook.
Yeah, that's nice of you to throw me after him. You know.
No, this is no joke, guys. Absolutely brought the entire house down. It was like the happiest I've ever seen an audience. They were so excited. They were so full of joy. And you must bring a lot of happiness to people. I mean, as being goofy, that's
Goofy's kind of a special case in himself because, you know, it's an easy job. I just go into the Disney studios and, "Where's Howdy, Mickey? Howdy, but people really resonate with that. He was my favorite Disney character growing up. And to get to fill his shoes for the last 31 years has been amazing. You know.
You were on my wall growing up.
Really?
Yeah. Just a huge
naked picture of me? Or
there's a picture of Bill Farmer, a naked picture from the porn days.
I needed the money, it's, you know.
That's got to be so amazing. Do you, what's it like as far as like the type of requests that you get? Do people reach out to you a lot and ask you to, you know, for charity stuff or to reach out to talk to kids?
Oh,
or things
yeah,
like that?
yeah. I do talk to, I get the strangest fan mail too. Actually, I got a, you know, I usually answer fan mail. I got one from the Arizona State Penitentiary. And the guy, this is absolutely true, he says, "You know I've hurt people in the past and I've got time on my hands. And so I'm collecting autographs. And first, I didn't answer because I didn't want my picture on some guy's jail cell wall. Hey, this is a good-looking blonde. I'm going to look at him. Let me get out of here. Let's go see him." But then he actually said the sentence. He says, "I know I've hurt people, but I still have 64 years on my sentence. And you did hurt people, I remember. You know, and I didn't answer that one. But I do get to talk a lot with kids in hospitals and stuff like that. And that really, you know, those characters, they got kind of a power that, you know, you can't take too lightly. There was a guy that did Mickey Mouse, and he passed away in 2009, Wayne Allwine. And he got a call from a woman who said that her daughter had leukemia and was resisting treatment. And said that, and so Wayne got on and said, "Gosh, you know, when Pluto feels bad, he takes his medicine and it makes everything better." And about 3 months later, we got a call and said just from that sentence, the kid's whole attitude changed, and she went into remission. So it's like, you gotta take that stuff kind of seriously, you know? You never know how it's gonna affect you.
Yeah, that's incredible. Now, you also play another very, very famous Disney character, Pluto.
Oh yeah, Pluto is, because it's just barking. Whoa! I get paid to do that. But I'm multilingual. I can do that German Pluto. Whoa! French. Whoa! That's the same damn thing.
Swedish was that? Yep.
Yeah. Golden G.
There's a couple of your credits that always make me laugh so much. I know that you were in the movie Beauty and the Beast.
Oh yeah. What a lot of us actors do, we get in loop groups, and what you do is you add incidental sounds, little teeny voices that may stand out or may be mixed in. Like in Beauty and the Beast, I was a lot of the people attacking the village, and there's like a group of about 12 of us in the studio, and attack the bees, kill the bees, that kind of thing. But I actually got the most obscure thing I've ever done in that movie, where in the scene where Gaston is singing in the bar, and he's talking about decorating with antlers, and he throws 3 eggs up in the air, and they go, and that's me.
So great.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
There's a lot of things that I don't even recognize my own voice from time to time. Like, if you ever see Toy Story, when they were in Pizza Planet, I was like mission control, just doing weird little things like T-minus 29, 28, getting ready for lunch. I think I used that, it was a video game, Destroy All Humans. I think I did an announcer like that. They came to Earth beyond the, whatever. You never know
What about Sing? What did you do in Sing?
In Sing, I was, again, a dog reporter. So I kind of got the dog, and I don't even remember what I said.
What's so funny? I got a job, I worked on the TV show The Defenders, is that what it's called?
The Defenders?
On Netflix with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. I worked in Loop Group on that for one day.
One day?
They needed they needed a fill-in for one of the guys in the group. So I came in with Mark Sussman and a bunch of those guys. And I'd never been to a Loop Group before. And it's this big room. It's a room almost as big as this, with a giant movie screen up. And there's like about 10 men and women standing around in the room. And I'm like, oh, some of these people must work for Netflix, and some maybe are producers or editors, whatever. And then there's a guy in the booth, and he goes, okay, let's watch the scene. So they watch the scene.
That's so weird.
Doesn't even care. Watch the scene, and it's like a man and a woman in a hospital, and they're talking. They're just having a conversation in a hospital. And they finish, and they go, all right, you guys ready? And in 3, 2, 1, and everyone in the room just goes, and they all start walking with each other and be like, oh, did you check the prescription? Did you check the prescription? And they're like making up dialogue and having all these conversations. And then some guy like put his arm around me and was like, I'm sure your wife will be okay. It was like doing improv that was not funny. It was like the fucking weirdest.
It
was so weird.
I was on a show, it was like LA Law or something like that, but it was a courtroom thing. And what the Loop Group has to do is just add little background noises for all the courtroom scenes. And of course, you don't talk in the courtroom for the background, so it's like this. Okay, take one.
So weird. I love it so much. That's amazing. What's something you've worked on recently? What's a project? Because I know there's a lot of Goofy movie fans in this audience. A lot of Goofy movie fans here. What was the impact like of doing a movie like that for you?
Now
Crazy.
it's like it's gotten a second life of its own, and people like that came out in '95, and now they show it at the El Capitan, and people sing along like Rocky Horror Picture Show. A couple of years ago we did a live performance with Powerline, Tevin Campbell, all this on stage at D23. It was like being one of the Beatles coming out on the stage. People were like, you know, I was looking like, who the hell came out? And they were like, just going nuts for the song. And we sang, Jason Marsden, who did Max, did not sing in the movie. They didn't know he could sing, and we did the songs the very first day of recording. So we rectified that. So Jason and I sang The Open Road live in front of about 1,200 people, and Tevin Campbell came out and did Eye to Eye. And it was just a magical night. And there's talk about taking it on the road and doing so many things with it.
That's always what happened on Storks for you with the singing, because they didn't know you could sing.
Yeah.
And then you did the song.
On what?
On Storks.
Oh yeah, in you mean the animated movie that I was in?
Yes. the animated
Yes.
film with talking animals that was not as good as the animated films with talking animals.
Attention, you, Ben Walker. That's the sound effect whenever Matt Walker makes fun of me. It's you've been Walker. Can we hear it one more time? Is it clear? Attention, you, Ben Walker. There you go. Matt hates sound effects, so I asked Josh to make a sound effect about him. I was in a movie called Storks with like Andy Samberg, Jennifer Aniston, and when I got cast in the movie, they didn't know that I sang, that I had been on Broadway, that I'm a musical theater guy. And so then I said, oh, you should let me sing the song, because there's a song, I sang How Do You Like Me Now by The Heavy. And I was like, can I sing the song? And they were like, no, we already hired somebody to come in to record today. And I was like, no, but I sing. Like, I'm good. I can do this. Let me do the thing. Yeah. And I convinced everyone in the room to let me do it. And then I did it. And then they were like, who are you? Why do you know this? And then that kind of was like the thing that pushed it over to become the party.
People that have no idea.
Yeah, it's crazy. People assume you can't do anything.
Which is generally true in my case, but not.
No, but that's kind of the weird thing sometimes about this business is either they assume you could do everything, or they assume you can do one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to. Would you mind singing a tiny piece of one of the songs?
Oh, gosh,
just a line. Just a line.
Do you need a break from modern living? Leaving home to shed your weary load. That's all I can remember.
So good. So great. So I wanted to do a little fun thing with you, if you're down for it. So I figured you pick a character. I know doing Goofy is a little off limits because more, Disney gets a little tricky.
They have a lot of lawyers.
Yeah, they have a lot of lawyers. But this is a scene from what movie, Matt?
The Room.
This is a scene from The Room. I figured you could do like a Warner Brothers character, like a Looney Tunes character.
How about if I just do whatever comes to me?
I can do Mark, and you can
I'll do Johnny.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see what the hell comes out. Okay.
All right. I'm gonna do SpongeBob for Mark.
I'm just gonna do different things. So let's see. Okay, as Johnny. I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I didn't hit her. I did not.
He throws the water bottle to the throat.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Johnny. What's up?
I have a problem with Lisa. She says that I hit her.
What? Well, did you?
No, it is not true. Don't even ask. What's new with you?
Well, I'm just sitting up here thinking, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You think girls like to cheat like guys do?
Well, what makes you say that?
I don't know. I'm just thinking.
I don't have to worry about that because Lisa is loyal to me.
Yeah, man. I mean, you never know. People are very strange these days. I used to know a girl, she had a dozen guys. One of them found out about it and beat her up so bad, she ended up in the hospital on Guerrero Street.
What a story, Mark.
That's enough. That's good. Paul Kramer.
Thank you.
Let's do a little Q&A. Ryan Stout, where are you, pal? Where are you?
I'm at the side of the room, so who has a question? Anybody? All right, and hopefully it's not about like leukemia or something like that. Let's keep it uplifting.
Keep it uplifting for Ryan. So,
Are the rumors about you and Minnie true?
The rumors about me and Minnie? Well, look at Goofy's feet.
who's over here?
Another question? What character would you relate most to? Of all the ones you played, what character is the one you would relate most to?
Yeah, which one do you relate most to?
Oh, God. Yeah, well, there's a Goofy curse. True story. I blame everything on Goofy. I was hanging Christmas lights. And I had on sweats and everything. I was like, and I stepped off the ladder, and my foot hit the riser on our sprinkler system. And I fell back into a rose bush. But the first rose bush grabbed my pants and yanked them down. True story. And I fell bare-assed into the second rose bush. That's the Goofy curse.
So good.
Yeah.
Too good. All right, who's got a question? Last one.
Doing all these voices, did you ever get caught yourself doing the wrong voice at a show or something?
Oh, doing the wrong voice? Usually what we'll do on a cartoon is we'll go through and let's say I'm doing, Goofy, I'll do all my Goofy lines, then all the Pluto lines, and then any incidental voices that I'm doing. So generally not, but sometimes when I'm, at home or practicing, I'll kind of flip around and not too much really, As someone asked earlier, if did voices while making love.
Yeah.
Actually, that's happened, It's not Goofy, no. And you gotta pick the right voice because I come in, I try working on a new voice like Sling Blade. Hey, honey, I'm horny tonight. Don't do that, Hey, Sean Connery. Right, Miss Moneypenny. That works, but so, no, I try not to mess those voices up when you're doing that.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, he's Goofy Bill on Goofy Bill.
At Goofy Bill.
At Goofy
on,
Bill on Twitter.
Yeah.
Go follow him, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Farmer!
Thank you so much.
All right. Up next, we have something very, very exciting. I know a lot of you guys are here for this. But to remind you about what we're about to do, I think we have a trailer that we can play. Do we have a trailer? Let's turn the lights up.
We have a new student with us. She just moved here from Africa.
Welcome. I'm from Michigan. Great. I'm 16, until today I was homeschooled. And then it was goodbye Africa. And hello high school. Hi, I'm Katie. I'm Jess. Damien.
Watch out, your meat coming through.
This map shows the school's central nervous system, the cafeteria. You got your cool Asians, burnouts, jocks, the greatest people you will ever meet, and the worst.
So you've never been to a real school before?
Shut up.
Shut up.
I didn't say anything. Plastics. What are the plastics?
13 royalty.
That's Karen Smith. She is one of the dumbest girls you will ever meet. I'm kind of psychic. Really? It's like I have ESPN or something. Gretchen Wieners. She has 2 Fendi purses and a silver Lexus. And evil takes a human form in Regina George. She knows everything about everyone.
That's why her hair is so big. It's full of secrets.
We want to invite you to have lunch with us. Regina seems sweet.
Get in, loser. We're going shopping.
Your house is really nice.
I know, right?
Being with the plastics was like leaving the actual world and entering girl world.
Have you seen any guys that you think are cute yet?
There's this guy in my calculus class. His name's Aaron Samuels.
No, that's Regina's ex-boyfriend. Ex-boyfriends are off limits. I mean, that's just like the rules of feminism.
Gretchen told me that you like Aaron Samuels. I could talk to him for you if you want. Really? You would do that?
So hot.
All right, are you guys ready? Are you ready? All right, here we go. Let's get the lights back up. Get ready, music ready. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we can play some music. He might be too gay to function, but he is definitely Danny DeVito's biggest fan. Please welcome to the stage comedian and actor Daniel And keep the music going, keep it going. And he looks super sexy with his hair pushed back. And he never knows what day it is on October 3rd. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jonathan Bennett! Oh my God, come on guys, how amazing is this?
You came on a good night.
You really, really did. You guys are the fucking greatest. I'm so happy to have you.
We're happy to be here.
This is very, very exciting. Are you guys excited? Well, we are too. This movie that you guys did together, this is, how long ago is this?
Next year will be the 15th anniversary.
Yes, it feels like a million.
That is
Yes.
so bananas. Yeah, like that movie came out and it was like a huge movie when it came out, but then like it just became like this.
It was sort of the first movie that like had the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the first movie to be like a meme.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's like kind of evergreen in the meme world.
Yeah, because it does
The OG
not
meme movie.
seem to calm down. It really. Do you feel like that? Do you feel like it has continued to heat up every year?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like that. When it first came out, like the first couple of years after it came out, like it became a thing where they were just playing it on TV all the time. It's always on. It's somewhere. It's always playing. And so I think more and more people saw it, and then like as time went on, like 3 or 4 years go by, you think, oh, it'll die down, and it gets more and more.
They did that with Grease when I was a kid. They would
Yeah.
show Grease like back to back to back.
Yeah. And it's on every channel all the time. And then 14 years later, now it's a new generation because like now the teenagers are watching it again, like the kids that are teenagers now, and their parents love it and they love it. So it makes airports a little.
I also think part of the recipe of why it's such a success is the book that it's based on, Queen Bees and Wannabes by Rosalind Weissman. It's a really great book, and Tina Fey took that and turned it into a comedy. So I think that it's all the things about Girl World and the hierarchy of the queen bee and her drones and all that. That's all stuff that happens in girl cliques. So I think that it's used as a parenting tool. This movie, even though, in no odd way, and like in psychology classes and sociology classes.
I also think there's a huge reason why it was so successful is the sheer talent in the film.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Just absolute talent. Yes.
Also, what's so great is with such a strong female cast, because there's so many women that were in that cast that
Were there?
didn't know. There's a couple. There's at least a few. But similar to like Bridesmaids, like everyone starts popping, and like people just start, the excitement around a movie like this is crazy. So I love you guys for coming to chat with us. This is very, very exciting. Daniel, I know you. I know you're a wonderful stand-up comedian. I've seen you a bunch of times.
He's so funny, guys. I have never seen him do it before until like 2 weeks ago. We went to see him, and I kept saying, "I'm going to come to show. Going to come to show," and I am so happy I did because to like meet him when he was 20. How old were we? We were babies.
Yeah, so
we
I was
were.
older than most.
He was older than everyone. Like to me back then, like, and then to see him come here and just like command a stage and like, dude, he's so funny. If you haven't seen him, go see him.
You gotta see it. He's so fucking hilarious. What's that been like for you, getting into the stand-up scene?
It's awesome for me because it's something I always wanted to do. Like when I was younger, I used to watch all the stand-up shows and I knew everybody's name in their set, like when I was like 12. And then I think being in the closet, I felt inauthentic. Like I couldn't be like, oh, I just met this girl, and even though that's not a lot of what my comedy is even about, like I didn't know. I just was afraid of like sounding gay or something. I don't know. Yeah. And so once I came out in 2014, like officially, like not just to my friends, but like to everyone. Then I was like, really like, this is what I want to do. And so
because we talked about this before. When you wanted to come out with the movie, but you had people that were like, no, that's not happening.
Like I had reps and stuff that were like, you shouldn't or whatever. Just people that were like in my life, even my family, like everybody at the time. It just wasn't the right
2004 wasn't the same as now. Like, we really have come a long way. Like, it's pretty incredible. Like, especially the characters that they were writing at that time that were gay weren't as interesting as Damien was. They were like, you know, caricatures and like, you know, a lot of like castrated, you know, jokes, punchlines. So, yeah, so after doing something that was as progressive as Damien, the years that followed, there just wasn't those kind of roles, you know? And I was auditioning for everything before that, like Sopranos, all this. I was almost, you know, I was up there for Turtle and Entourage at one point. Yeah, I was like, you know, I was getting close. I'm like, you know, I was going for like some of these roles like that, and then all of a sudden, after Mean Girls, nothing. Like only gay offers and only like these character kind of roles, like, and it just was weird. So I took a lot of time. I did other things, you know, and then I waited for like the right kind of gay role to come around to do something else. And that was when I did Looking. I felt like that was like
Looking was
amazing.
Jonathan, what about you? How did that work out for you? I mean, as far as you know, doing the movie and then later coming out and things like that.
Well, first of all, I want to say for him, it was like the as an actor in a movie with him, knowing the situation he was in and what we were all put in, like for him to play Damien and play it so well and be so brave enough to do a character like this, it's not comfortable to do as an actor when it was 2004, it was scary. And I just have to commend him because that's like, he paved the way for a lot of people, And while his people were telling him, no, don't come out, stay in the closet, whatever, my people were like, get in there! You're Aaron Samuels! Down! So it was just a different time. Yeah. It was a different time. Things were just weird.
People are still dealing with that, by the way.
Yeah, it's not a thing.
Now, when you were filming the movie, did you guys know about each other? Like,
yeah. Midway through, we were like, hey,
it was like,
I sniffed it out. I was like, hey, girl, your face smells like peppermint.
It's like you find the other unicorn in the village, you're like, oh. And then we realize the whole village was unicorns! Everyone!
Not really.
Not everyone, but there were a lot of unicorns.
That must have been amazing. Oh my God. Well, so let's walk through this. I know we have other stuff we have to talk about besides Mean Girls, but I do want to ask you a couple questions.
Yeah, we're ready. We've never been asked Mean Girls questions before. So
not today. I hit it in the living room.
Let's just go ahead and questions. Let's just go ahead and no, we don't still talk to Lindsay Lohan, so let's just.
I do.
You do. She didn't text me back.
Just first impressions. That I always find very interesting. First impressions of some of the cast. Lacey, what was first impressions of Lacey?
Perfect.
I did a movie with her before Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a Christian football film called Hometown Legend by the guy who did the Left Behind series.
Oh my God.
So that was like my second movie. I did Larry Clark's movie Bully, and then the same producer took me to his next movie, which was Hometown Legend. Which before they called it that, it was called American Leather, and I was like, okay, girl.
Lacey's my favorite. I've done like 4 movies with her since Mean Girls. We play boyfriend and girlfriend in every Hallmark Christmas movie you'll ever watch at Christmas time. It's either her or Winnie Cooper. Like I get 2. And I literally look at the call like, which one is it? Is it Winnie or Gretchen? Which one you want? But when you first meet Lacey, she has like the cutest voice, and I always like tease her about it, because she's like, Jonathan, you're embarrassing me. Jonathan, stop it, you're embarrassing me. I'm like, Lacey, I'm like playing with her hair, like pulling her, like poking her. She's like, Jonathan, people are gonna see us. Stop it, you're embarrassing me.
I'll tell you, to answer your question, the first impression of Lacey, she's the absolute sweetest person, and she's like Christian, and like I used to call her wifey when she was like, when we were doing Mean Girls, I was like, you're like wifey. Like, even her hotel room, she like rearranged the furniture and made like Thanksgiving dinner for us.
Oh yeah,
like, she's just like really a good quality human being.
The best.
There's a lot of people that in Hollywood, when they start out as a child actor, that it goes one of 2 ways. Like you either get like super screwed up or you become like perfect.
Right.
And she's one of the perfect ones. She's just like,
maybe an example of the cast of that movie. It might have some issues.
Attention, you've been Walker. He's referring to Miss Lohan.
Yeah.
Who?
So, she's an actress. What was first impressions of the Lohan? The Lohan, as we call her in the business.
I was 26 when I did Mean Girls, and Lindsay was 16. So you know, and she was very bossy, like she says in her song. So it's like I was a little bit like this bossy little 16-year-old better quit, you know. But as she got older and especially sober, you know, we get along now. I think she's pretty cool.
You know, we had a well, you have to tell first impression. First impression. Yeah. Yes.
I met Lindsay at our screen test. I don't think I've ever told the story. Well, no, I have, Marquez. I met her at our screen test, so I got to
Just get the hook ready.
Yeah. No, I met her at the screen test in Culver City, and it was between me and two other guys for Aaron Samuels, and I went there, and my manager drove me, and they're like, you're gonna meet Lindsay, you know, you just make sure you flirt with her, make sure you make her, you know, fall in love with you, and I'm like, okay. I'm 21, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll do it. And they're like, go in there, do the scene, whatever. So I go in, I meet her, I do the scene. She's like in the corner of the room. She walks out. We like meet for 1 second. It's like, hi, I'm Lindsay. Hi, I'm Jonathan. And then we do the scene. And in the middle of the scene, I give her some type of look, and she turns bright red, like just blushes. And you see Mark Waters sitting there. And he's like, yep. And then like we leave, and he's told this story in interviews. Like I left the room, and my manager's like, how did it go? And I'm like, well, I made her blush, and she turned red, and the director smiled, and he said, yep. And he's like, all right, I think you got the job. Then they hire someone else.
I can tell you that part of the story.
Yeah?
Tell us.
So I got hired, they called me after I had done the audition in New York, and they were like, so it was Sunday night, and they were like, Monday we're gonna fly Daniel to Los Angeles. He's going to do a dinner with the cast, and then the table read, but he doesn't have the part yet. Like everyone thinks he might be too old because I was 26. So they're like one of the executives in the room doesn't really like him. So I was just like, damn it! I like made myself look as young as possible. I got my beauty sleeve. You know what I'm saying? I smoked cigarettes at the time. I don't anymore, but I was dying for one that didn't have one. You know, like I was really, and I was like, like getting that weird tickle in your throat where you're like, cigarettes will cure this. You know, I was like trying and I was just like trying to be on my best behavior. And the dude who they did hire to play Aaron Samuels came with like stubble and like his like a hat like really low like this and his Starbucks. And the casting director, Marcy Lura, kept coming up to him and saying, you really should take your hat off. Like, and he's like, yeah. And they're like, no, you really should take your hat off. Like, and, you know, you should like sit up straight. Like, you know, they were nervous because he looked so like old and a little schlubby at the time, you know, even though he's like a handsome actor that people would know. So then they sat him next to me and Lizzie Kaplan, and I was gunning for the role. So like, they couldn't like. I mean, every joke I was like hitting. I made like Lauren Michaels' spit take once. Right. I was like boom, boom, like you know. And then then they were like a week went by, and they told me I got the role, and I showed up at the airport, and he was there.
That's true. Wow.
They fired that guy.
They fired the guy.
Table read.
After that table read, they fired the guy. So you're an actor.
I was like, who are you playing?
Yeah, I was like, and when I was like, I'm Aaron. Him and someone else were both like, I don't know if you are. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm Aaron. I'm like, yeah, but you're not. I'm like, okay. But here's the funny part. So I get a phone call. They're like, you didn't get the job. And I was like, all right. And so I was super depressed, and I went back to my job at where? Abercrombie and Fitch. So I was literally fucking folding sweaters at 3rd Street Promenade. Like, shirtless. Absolutely perfect. Very perfect. And I was folding shirts, and my manager, I go to my locker, and I check my flip phone. And my manager calls, and he's like, there's been a change. And I'm like, okay, what's up? He's like, but I was like, yeah, bro, what's up? And he's like, there's been a change. They fired the guy to play Aaron Samuels. You leave tomorrow. You got the part. You're going to Toronto. And I was like, oh, that's cool. All right, cool. So let me just finish my shift, and I'll give you a call when I get home. To which he responded, you don't have a shift anymore. Quit. And I was like, oh, you're right. I don't. Hold on. I quit, guys. Peace, fuck you, I'm out. And I leave. go to work, we had to drive in that van to New York and back.
Right, we had to go get our work visas, so we got to go to Niagara Falls, me and
Yeah, they were like,
we're gonna take you to Niagara Falls, and when we come back, you'll have a work visa.
yes, because they couldn't get the visas in time because we were both such a late minute cast that like they didn't have the paperwork process. So we got there, we rehearsed before we could shoot. They put us in a like 15 passenger van. We drove to Canada or drove to Niagara Falls, crossed the border, and then drove back into Toronto just so we could like come in as workers.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That's incredible. That's amazing.
Crazy time.
Well, you know, Mean Girls. There are a lot of mean girls and mean people out in the world, and we had a very interesting interview that went viral earlier this week. And when I say viral, I mean 15 different news publications picked up this, different stories from the same episode of our podcast. We interviewed the teen mom, Farrah Abraham.
Yeah.
And she brought her daughter to the interview.
It was the first interview she did after getting arrested.
Yeah, she had just gotten out of jail. She just got out of jail. She literally spent like 10 hours getting Botox and then went straight to us. That's no joke. Like, that's not an exaggeration.
That was the timeline.
She had like came out.
Where did she go?
She was straight out of LA County. They did Botox on her, and then she came to us, and then we interviewed her, and then she went out drinking all night with her kid. But here, what happened? What happened was, and this we don't look.
She's a cool mom.
The thing is.
Ring the bell! Ring the bell! Worth it.
One of the so here's what happened is after the episode comes out, she was very nice. She was very nice in the interview, but she did say some very interesting quotes. I believe we have one. Do you have one we can play? A very quick quote.
Where would you like all of this to kind of end up? Do you have like if you could kind of see yourself like 10 years down the line, what would you like to be doing?
I mean, I kind of feel like I would be like where Ellen DeGeneres and Oprah Winfrey is, you know?
Yeah.
Like just doing it all.
Right, so that was,
There's no
all right, we can cut it. So that was like one of them that the press went fucking apeshit over, like stuff like that, which to me, it's like, what, no, you know, what?
Well, how does she know the future? Like, that's amazing.
Right.
She could be president like Farrah Abraham Lincoln.
She did. And that's why you're a comedian.
Ring the bell! Ring the bell! This bitch, she is good.
So here's, we can bring up you can put up the article on the screen if you want. Yeah, so there we go. So that was one of them. So what we're thinking is, because Jonathan, you host a show.
Cake atrociously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You host a show called Cake Wars.
Cake Wars on the Food
Right.
Network. Yeah.
On Food Network.
It's not the Food Network, on Food Network.
Just food. It's Food Network.
Big PR
So
we have to
I'm
say.
going to give you guys some quotes.
Yep.
They are circled. This one's circled on this page, and then any of these.
Uh-huh.
That's fine. You're going to read a quote out loud.
Okay.
If you don't want to read it, we'll read one. And then if you guys think it's real, then you have to shout out real or you yell out not real. And if you get enough right, the entire audience is going to win cake. Sound good? Sound good?
Very good.
And these are, the game is called Real or Not Real.
Real or not real?
It's real or not real. A game of chance. A game of quotes. A game of quotes of chance from the internet. Real or not real? Alright, here we go. You choose. You can choose which one you want to do.
These are tweets that
This, by the way, this has been like the past 14 years of our relationship. Like, they hand me the paper, and I'm like, I read it? And then he goes, yeah, John, you read it. Yes, you, honey. Okay. No, but it's so true. So true.
Like, wait, in this room? This is the room? This is the room we wait in?
Yeah. I'm such an airhead sometimes, and the poor thing is having to pick up my
This room's for us? We got this room?
Yeah. Yes, John.
This water, this one's mine, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Danny. He's like my dad. All right, here we go. So I read it now?
So you read it.
You read it, and the audience is real
and
or
you
not.
guys decide if it's real or not real. Ready?
Real or not real.
Yeah.
Now? Okay. Here we go.
Say the name. Say the name of the person.
Okay. Oh, I said at Audra-Bowman. This would be a beautiful picture if it wasn't for your plastic horse face.
Real or not real? Shout it out. That's right. It's real. The internet. All right, next one.
Her boobs. Next time. At Corky Thermopolis. Isn't it crazy how a tiny egg and a tiny sperm can make such a big twat?
Real or not real? That's right, real. It is real.
This is like Damien lines.
All right.
Right?
Yeah. Do you want to take the next one?
Yeah, this is the next one. Okay. At Hollis MCD. See how nice you could look when you don't have a side veg hanging out?
Real or not real?
Real.
What is it? Real or not real?
Real.
That's right, also real.
Where do you get that sound?
All right, here, try this one down here.
Okay.
It's from who?
At Lovely Panther. I love Farrah Abraham. She is a good, honest person, and her daughter is not weird looking.
Real or not real? That's right, not real.
I like this one. I'm calling this one.
All right, go for it.
Okay.
At Audrey_HN. She looks like a roasted chicken from Walmart.
And then this is the last one here.
The quirky one?
Yeah, the quirky one. This one is about her with, she was advertising lollipops on the internet. All right, lollipops on the internet.
I'm gonna let you do this one.
You do it.
No, I'm gonna skip that one.
I'm gonna skip this one. Yeah. You go for it.
Matt, you do it.
You do it, Matt. There you go.
Does it come in gonorrhea too, or just busted cherry?
Real or not real? It's and that's right. Everybody in the audience gets cake.
Let them eat
We have our lovely nighttime show people working on the show, assistants that are helping us out.
They're like Vanna White.
Natalie Butts and Cora Havoc and Sarah Salthouse. Give them a big round of applause. Let's do a little Q&A.
Awesome. So while they hand out cake, everybody's getting cake right now. There's no waiting for that. Do we have questions? Who has questions? Anybody? Hands up. Okay, right over here. Up front. Hang on. I'm ready. Don't talk yet. It's a podcast, so you have to get into the mic.
That was really cool. She just gave me a pencil. Get it? Do you have a pencil like a Moreau? Yeah.
Oh, nice. All right. We only have time for a few questions.
Okay, a few questions. Go.
What was the best advice? What was the best aspect of working with Tina Fey in that film?
First of all, the luck and grace of getting to do this job. That was the best part of it. Like, life changer. Because, like, it's weird. I said this in the book that I have coming out. I was like, Tina, like, changed my life forever. Like, very wicked, but changed for good. But, yeah, just how much she changed my life.
I would say that Tina said that Damien hasn't even had his first kiss yet in the movie, and like to just play him sort of like as coming of age, like natural. And I really love that note because it helped me keep him kind of real. And then the other one is Amy Poehler told me that when you do an interview, nobody really gives a shit what your favorite color is, just tell a joke.
Brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant.
All right, let's take one more
Everybody
question.
else? Okay. Hang on. 1 second.
Last question.
Sorry, that was a really good question before, but I'm just gonna ask a more lighthearted one. How many times do you get asked on October 3rd? Do you get texts saying it's October 3rd?
October 3rd is its own holiday, if you don't know. It's National Mean Girls Day. And actually, Jonathan put together this amazing thing last year. It was, we got everyone involved. It started out with me, him, Lacey, and Amanda. And then we involved Lizzie and
Lindsay and
Rajiv. And tell them about it.
Oh, so it was right after the Vegas shootings. And
Real lighthearted question.
yes, there's like, well, anyway,
Great job,
Well,
Randy.
it was right after that, but we put together because we knew, because here's the thing, like on October 3rd, like it's insane. Like the amount of like the social
There's a lot
media,
of attention.
There's a lot of attention on us, and everyone's like, because everyone, it's.
Well, tell them what you did, Johnny.
Okay, so what I did. Now? Okay. Got it. So I put together a video. I was like, we're going to get a lot of attention. Why don't we use this for good? Because everyone's going to want us to say, because everyone's like, what day is that?
So Jonathan put together.
So I put together a video,
GoFundMe.
a GoFundMe, and we're like, how about we raise money for the victims of the Vegas shootings? And so we put together this amazing video and put together a GoFundMe and brought all this awareness, say, instead of like, you know.
And how much money did we raise?
We raised about $100,000.
So keep an eye out. We're going to try to do a Mean Girls.
Yes.
Mean Girls do good every year.
Yeah.
I love you guys. You guys are so great. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
On Instagram! Follow me on Instagram, Jonathan T. Bennett.
Yes, and I am on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever, Venmo, and What's Up Danny.
Thank you guys so much for coming and giving it up.
Jonathan, we go off the stage now, Jonathan.
And also, if you haven't seen him do stand-up, I've seen him twice now. He's fucking phenomenal. Go check out stand-up shows.
Please come see me do stand-up at whatsupdanny.com.
Alright, so we're gonna play a little music while we set up for our next guest and get some cake. Are cakes being passed around? Where are the cakes at?
It better not be live.
It better not be. We have 12 here. We got 10 motherfucking cakes.
No.
Audience, please sing along. If you don't sing along, the internet will be very upset. Come on, guys. Well, Prince did it for you. That's what I say now. Princess, Prince will adore you. Just go ahead now. What else? Diamonds in his pocket. Just go ahead now. That was something in their pocket. And it is everyone. Got a prince in pocket. That's what I say now. That's what I'm on his jacket. That's what I say now. Let's get Rob up here. Let's make that things are plugged in. Come on. Just go ahead now. If you like to talk for hours, just go ahead now. If you want to come and meet them. Are you guys having the best time? Yeah, I'm here. I want to hear you sing a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and pass, actually. I'm passing. I'm foregoing. This song is terrible, and also amazing at the same time. It's even one of the greatest non-metal Hey guys, real quick, super fun thing. We recently started the Night Show clothing line, and we did a photo shoot for it. It was really cool. It was really fun. It's good stuff.
Hey Mitch, if you can come on back for a second, we got a question for you.
Mitch, my man, come on.
Mitch, we need to go to a DI for Carlos.
Classic DI mistake. I could just mic the guitar. Yeah, do you want me to slap this mic in front of your...
I hear it in the mix here, so I think it's live. You're just not hearing it in the monitors. And you guys sound good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Holy shit. All right.
What's up, gang?
Hey guys, I'm going to do the quick intro. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very, very exciting for us. Our next guest is a very talented singer and actor, best known for his work on Northern Exposure, Quiz Show, Numbers, and you can watch it on the series Billions. Please welcome Rob Moreau!
Show I did from 1990 to 95. It was a cult hit, and it was really cool. It had dealt with all kinds of interesting stuff, spiritual, humor, highbrow, lowbrow. It was a great literary show, comedy, drama. Worth checking out. It's going to be streaming pretty soon. We're talking about doing some new ones, so maybe y'all take that. This is my great friend Carlos Calvo, and Carlos and I have been writing music for many years now and performing around, and we have a single out that we're going to do a little bit later, but now we're going to do one of our new songs that we just recorded that is not out yet. It's called As Good as Dead. Are you good?
It's dead.
Good as dead. Is there anything we can do to get Carlos plugged in here? I'm good. That's all good. Y'all want us to just kick in here? Alright, here we go. It's called As Good as Dead. You left me just like you had said. I'm deaf, no songs in my head.
know that pleasures last just as long as they be. Knowing who I am and the voices in my head. Value in my bed. I'm good as dead. I'm lost, left to float in red. You are hiding so much left unsaid. Why good things come to bad ends? Gonna miss those things I do. Gonna miss those ways we move. I know the wants and needs won't give me what I see. And I know the pleasures last just as long as they can be. I know that who I am ain't the voices in my head. And I know that every rhythm is so critical. Without you in my bed. Who I am ain't the voices in my head. Oh, I know that words mean little, but I'm just so grateful. Got you in my bed. Yeah, I'm as good as dead. Got you in my bed.
Rob Moreau, come on!
All right, so this is our single that just came out last week, and this is called The New Face. Oh, you get on the mic? Sorry, let's start that one more time.
One more time!
One, two, three, four. Yeah, when you were young and sweet, you used to love to sing and play. Wherever you went, your back would be ringing out all day. I never knew what happened when you had a day inside. Something said in the times would make you run and hide. Well, that's the news. makes us keep up on ourselves. It makes us special when we all in the game of skill. Yeah, that's the
Where can they find the single you just did?
I'm here. Yeah. Girls, come over here. Okay, no, I'm over here though. No, come over here. Over here. I got it. It's okay. Oh, is there a video? Sure. Please. Alright, can I just leave this here?
Yes, of course.
I mean, I'll steal it, but I do you.
Rob, how are you?
I'm so excellent. Thanks for having me here. I've had a busy night. I did a benefit tonight for City of Hope at the El Rey Theater, so I've been singing a lot tonight.
You sound incredible. You guys sound awesome. How long have you been playing together?
Seems like minutes. 7 minutes. I don't know. Like 5, 6, 7 years, something like that.
Where did you guys meet? Where did that happen?
We met, and he was recommended to me as a guitar teacher, and we started working together.
First AD introduced us.
First AD.
That's so Hollywood, right?
It really is.
Carlos is like the guitar teacher to stars. He's taught like David Duchovny, Adam Levine, what's the guy, Jonah Hill.
Wow.
And some recently, some badass.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Moreau.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! Come on.
Someone I love. Yes, that guy's amazing.
No, you guys sound
You're only our third musical guest we've ever had because we've had Lisa Loeb,
Yeah, we've had
E.G.
Lisa
Daly, and
Loeb.
now you.
I saw Lisa. Who was the second one?
E.G. Daly.
Cool,
yeah.
And who was a guest? She was the musical guest on Saturday Night Live, and you hosted Saturday Night Live.
I did. I hosted Saturday Night Live, and Nirvana was the band.
Get the fuck out of here!
And check it out. And they wait, I have so many good stories about that night because I was just there in December, and Dave Grohl was there with the Foo Fighters, and I went back. I was back in the day when I hosted the show. My dressing room was right next to theirs, and I'm there all week, Monday through Friday, and they show up Friday, and they're across the room from me, like there's just like 5 feet, and there's a door, and it's their dressing room. And I knew them a little bit because we all lived in Seattle, but I wanted to go say hi, and I walked in the dressing room, and they're all in this small room, and Kurt Cobain is out cold on the floor. I mean, he's out cold, and no one said a word. No one acknowledged that he was out cold. But so I had to step over him to say, "Hey man, how are you? What's up?" And Courtney and Dave, and they were all there. But I kept stepping over Kurt. And so then now cut to this December, I'm at SNL just hanging out, and they're the band, and I go into that same dressing room where the Foo Fighters are there, and Dave's like, what do you remember from that night? And I was like, I remember standing right here, stepping over, and he said that was the night they all had realized that Kurt had a heroin problem that night.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they went on the show and trashed the set and got in a lot of trouble. Moore Michael said they would never be allowed on the show, and there was a big controversy, and it was weird.
That's so fucking weird. That's amazing. That's a great story. That's incredible. That's incredible. I love that.
In your career, you've played a fair number of real people.
I have.
Because like in Quiz Show, you played an actual real person. In the OJ story that was just on, you played a real person. When you play somebody who's like a living human being, like do you go meet with them ahead of time, or how do you prepare for that?
Yeah, like in Quiz Show, Richard Goodwin, who just passed away, amazing guy. Richard Goodwin. So I did this movie called Quiz Show that Robert Redford directed, and it was me and Ray Fiennes and John Turturro and all these amazing actors, and it was about the quiz show scandals of the late 50s, which were really significant because it basically, I mean, to now it seems like it's nothing, but it basically said that all of these TV shows were corrupt and the results were planned out in advance. But it was a big scandal, and the guy that I played was the federal investigator who looked into it, and he went on to be a speechwriter for JFK and Bobby. And when I was prepping to do the movie, I spent time with him up in Massachusetts. He just passed away 3 weeks ago. His wife was Doris Kearns Goodwin, who was an amazing writer in her own right. The Lincoln book. Exactly.
Yeah.
A team of rivals.
A team of rivals. And
That was some deep.
That's a deep cut. Deep cut, man.
See what I did there?
Loved it.
It was amazing. But Dick Goodwin was when the movie came out, I was down in DC. They were doing a bunch of premieres, and Dick was like, "You want to go hang out?" And he knew everyone because he was a speechwriter for JFK, Bobby. He was like, "You want to go hang out?" I was like, "Yeah, okay." He goes, "You want to go to the White House?" And I was like, "Okay." So the next thing, I will walk in the Oval Office and the whole thing, and then we end up at the gravesite for Robert F. Kennedy, and in granite on the wall is the written inscribed the Tiny Ripples of Hope speech. Y'all know that? It's a great, amazing speech. And
I do it at karaoke.
Anyway, Dick kind of nonchalantly looks up and goes, "I wrote that."
No way! That's amazing! Oh my God, that's incredible. We just had a guy on our show, James Maslow, and I think we can talk about this because no one. Every time we've tried to talk about it, it's kind of been shut down. Like we've gone to press to talk, like presses. We've been approached by press, and then nothing's come out. Like we've had a couple times with this. Well, James Maslow was
just on Celebrity Big Brother.
Yeah, he was on Celebrity Big Brother, and which is a game show type. It's a type of game show where you win a lot of money at the end of the show. And part of the deal of that show
at
is
the end of Quiz Show, my character says, they say, "Aren't you glad you got the quiz show? You got these guys," and they say, and I say, "No, we didn't get the game shows. They got us."
Yeah. Yeah.
And here we are in the world we live in, fucking president.
What ended up happening, it's okay. What ended up happening is we're interviewing him and we're talking to him about Big Brother, and he goes, "Oh yeah, he goes, I'm not probably supposed to say this, but Meta World Peace, who was also one of the cast members on Big Brother, kept sneaking out the fire escape in the middle of the lot and would go see his family." And then we just leave the show. Because you're supposed to be, the part of the deal with the show is you're locked onto a set. And that's how the game is played, is that you can't leave, and so you go crazy. And he would just fucking leave in the middle of the night.
That's the quote. We're not going to get TV, TV's going to get us.
I love it. There's a movie that you were in that I have to bring up, because if I don't, my brain's going to explode. You were in a documentary that I saw in the theater. I saw it 3 times in the theater. It's called Lost Souls, and it was the Richard Stanley hosted the event at the silent movie theater when that still existed, and this was a documentary about a movie called The Island of Dr. Moreau,
Which I quit.
which you quit.
But I got paid $250,000 before I quit.
Hell yeah. Good quit.
Can we talk about it a little bit? Will you tell us a little bit? And get closer to the mic. Let's get the mic on you.
It's funny, like, you know, I never told them the real stories, and I'm not going to tell you guys tonight, but that was a crazy, crazy experience. I mean, I quit a movie. Wait, here's the only regret. I would have had a poster that said Marlon Brando, Rob Morrow, and Val Kilmer. Over the fucking title. What are we on?
Yeah, you can just say whatever you want.
I curse a lot, but I can refrain if I'm on.
No. It's the Hollywood fucking improv.
So my regret is that I didn't get that poster, but it was in complete anarchy. And I remember, I'll never forget, I literally, because it was back to we were using faxes then, and I was sending SOS faxes to my lawyers saying, get me out of this. It was, but you saw the documentary.
If you haven't seen the documentary, Richard Stanley, this guy, had wanted his entire life to make the movie The Island of Dr. Moreau. He'd written the script like more than a dozen times.
The Island of Dr. Moreau is an H.G. Wells novel about kind of the danger of genetic engineering, right? It's very prescient, and even now it could make a great.
And for this audience, basically they knocked it off in South Park a bunch of times.
Yeah,
they've seen it.
Yeah, they
That's
really
probably
have
seen it. Yeah.
What
the one I did?
That one. They've knocked it off numerous times. Well, what ended up happening was they go out to go make this movie, and there's like a hurricane, and it washes away the entire set. Right? And so then everyone's like stranded out there. It's not a good situation. And they have to rebuild everything from scratch. And slowly, this guy it was his dream to make this movie, his dream is just fucking crumbling in front of him, right? And then you leave the movie, right? And they move Val Kilmer up from the role he was playing to the role you played.
No,
right?
What happened was Bruce Willis was playing.
Right.
Bruce Willis was in it. It was Marlon, Bruce, and Val. Bruce quit.
Yeah,
I
Bruce
think he
quit.
knew what was coming, and they brought me in, and Val moved into Bruce's part, and I moved into my part, and then eventually I quit. But I can't tell you because it's going to hurt. It's not good for some people that I would say why it went south. But it was.
Well, the interesting part that always sits with me about this movie, especially about the documentary, is that they fire Richard Stanley from his movie, okay? The director.
He's like 30 years old. His dream. He's directing Marlon Brando, Val Kilmer, and me.
Yeah, and he's lost control. Marlon Brando has changed his entire costume. He's wearing an ice bucket on his head. He's given all of the lines of dialogue of one of the characters to a dwarf that barely speaks English.
Let me just interject 1 second. So
Yeah.
Marlon shows up, and he's like, he wants this dwarf guy, this teeny guy, to be in exactly his same costume. So it's Marlon Brando in a white three-piece suit, and this little guy in a white three-piece suit.
The mini-me thing. Yeah. Yeah, it's first mini-me.
And wait, here's the crazy thing. In all the scenes, Marlon has a hat like Lincoln, but white, but the top of the hat is open. And he wants this little guy standing on the table, dropping ice cubes into his hat. It's so insane.
So weird. So, long story short, Richard Stanley gets fired. They put him in a cab. They send him to the airport. He gets out of the cab, walks into the airport, comes right back out, gets into another cab, goes back to the set, army crawls onto the set, meets up with the guy who runs the extras department, gets the extras guy to put it in a costume and a mask, and then he does extra work on his fucking movie. And does things like sets fires on the set and lights fireworks off while they're filming. Does fucking crazy shit. If you haven't seen Lost Souls, go fucking rent this movie. It will change your life.
Hey, that's only half the story, I'm telling you. Holy shit.
I absolutely love that. Before I got 1 or 2 questions before we wrap things up. numbers. This show was a fucking massive hit for you. What was it like working on the show with them?
It was fun, you know, like, because up to then I played a lot of loquacious characters, you know, people that talked a lot, and this guy
used the word loquacious.
Characters that used the word loquacious. But like, he was laconic. But the thing that was interesting was like, I'm not a gun guy, like I'm so not a gun guy, I'm completely the opposite of that, but I also was a kid who played Cowboys and Indians and dug all that shit, and so we'd get on the set and they'd be like, we have these technical advisors and they'd be like, you know, real FBI guys, and they'd be like, you know, it's not like in the movies, like when you get someone in your sight, you don't, you know, it's not like, you're not spraying them, you're like, you take calculated shots even though it's an automatic weapon, so you're like, and I'd be like, cool, no problem, they go roll the camera, and I go,
That's amazing. Rob, where are you performing next if people want to go see you perform? Because you're amazing.
we're doing Carlos and I have a band, you know, we write all this music together, and we have this single out that's on Apple and all the digital tunes, and then we're playing a really great venue called Bogies in Westlake, July 15th.
That's awesome. Well, guys, go check him out, and also, it's official Rob Moreau or the Rob Moreau?
Official Rob Moreau is on Instagram, and then Rob Morrow's Twitter. Yeah.
That's awesome. Give him a big round of applause, guys. Rob Moreau. Big applause. Come on, keep it going. Keep it going. We got some quick prizes we're going to give away, and we're bringing up our last guest of the night. This is one of our big new sponsors. This is from Momentum Brands, based out of China. They're one of our new sponsors. They're really great. Sometimes you don't have the. Sometimes you don't have the time, but you need the time, and that's why they created 20-inch vintage wall clock. 20-inch vintage wall clock for the time. Yep. Who would like it? Who wants it? Oh my God, so many folks back there. There's folks back here. There's Sarah at Salthouse. Can you come grab this if you're here, Cora or Sarah? Maybe one of you guys.
Just glue it to the back of your phone.
Here, why don't I just grab it? Should I just grab it?
Ryan, yeah.
Who am I giving it to?
Ryan, take it to one of those people.
I want it. I'm leaving with the clock, everybody. I'm leaving with the clock.
You can purchase
There you
one.
go.
You can purchase one at the 99-cent store on the break. In case you really want that clock.
We have another sponsor. This is a sponsor. This is real. This is real.
It's a real thing.
What I'm about to read to you, this is from NBM Network. They are based out of Russia, and they did sponsor the show, which is very cool. Their company, Trackimo Guard 3G, is a actual tracking device. You can put it on anything. Your dog, your girlfriend. Don't do that. That's the law. Put it on an X. Put it on an X.
See what they're up to.
Rob Moreau.
Rob Moreau!
Use it for whatever you want. You can track. You can people. I gotta track yourself.
Yeah, put it in Rob Moreau's pocket.
It's about $100. Whatever it is. We got one right there. Send it to that guy over there.
Who's that guy? That guy?
That guy.
He's gonna hide it under somebody's driver's seat. You're gonna track her.
He's
Okay.
also a sponsor of the show. This is from a company called Doc Johnson. I think they're a medical supply company. It's called Optimal Men's Sexual Health and Wellness.
Oh, men's sexual health and wellness. Listen, she's waving her arms before you even describe it.
Take it all the way straight back there. Optimize every opportunity is what they say. Is that optimize every opportunity? Powerful stimulation for you and your partner.
I'm gonna go ahead and
But
take
how
this
does it
now.
work?
Oh,
Mike,
I thought there were pills.
pull out that giant dick and show everybody how that shit works. Give that shit.
Wait, what's happening? Who am I giving this to?
Yourself! Oh, give it to Jessie Lee, because Jessie Lee is, I believe, an actress in adult film work. So she actually needs it. But for this lady right here, this is our last sponsor of the night. It's very, very exciting. For all of you non-Jews that still need to sleep, straight from Style Lab for Fashion Angels, bacon pillows. Let's send that straight back.
Send it straight back.
Oh, she got it. She got that one. All right. Well, look, I got to bring up our last guest of the night.
Oh, she's being gracious.
Ladies and gentlemen, our last guest of the night. This is a big fucking deal, and I need you guys. I need your full support because we're gonna wrap this thing up in a way that you can't even believe, especially because it hurt for it to happen. Our last guest of the night was a professional skateboarder who became one of the top radio personalities on Sirius XM. This guy is a fucking beast, and we love him. And his book, I'm Awesome, is incredible. Please welcome our dear friend, Jason Ellis! Jason Ellis!
I don't do any voices, just for the record.
You don't have to do that. You have a great voice as is.
You did, but that's it.
Jason, you're such a fucking great guy. Thanks for being out late and fucking around with us. I really appreciate it, man. You're a good man. And thanks for having me on your show. Your fucking fans are terrific people.
Where are they?
I know.
Oh, okay. Oh, my bad.
This guy right here.
I figured there was only one. I mean, none. So there's one, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's one.
They're
There's
great.
at least one.
He looks great.
If not three. There's a bunch. What I think is really fucking crazy is like, I'll go do this morning radio show sometimes, and then you go look on Twitter, you get a couple mentions, people do this kind of shit. But then I did your show, and we talked about like serious shit. We talked about like very serious stuff on your show.
Did we?
Yeah, we talked about my dick almost getting torn off.
How's that serious?
Stuff I can talk about.
Wasn't that you just fucking what is that thing you do when you're sad?
It was a sex robot, and it was a mistake.
A sex robot.
It
wasn't a sex robot. Wasn't it like a fleshlight, right?
It was a fleshlight.
Yeah, you calling it a robot. You just fucked your hand and got stuck. That's why I call it a not big deal. Oh, Jason came on the show talking about his penis almost came off. Turns out he got his dick stuck in some fleshlight doing the Desperado.
It was a robot.
He put too much lube in it or something. I'm like, it didn't really come off, or there wasn't a robot that was like, he dumped it. You're not fucking Neo, you know? You just... You don't have a dick, you don't know what it's like.
You don't know what it's like. You want to fuck robots.
Yeah, you want to stick it in everything.
Everything.
Even if it looks like it's going to bite it off. You don't know.
Those teeth.
You don't know what it's like. It's not always...
Those teeth don't look so sharp.
Yeah, sometimes everybody doesn't want to do anything to it, so you have to fuck a robot.
Yeah.
They could potentially eat it.
Yeah, you never know.
Or it can come. This is worth it.
One of the two.
We're both
quality.
Sorry.
I was looking through some of your past fights because you fight as a fighter. You're
Not
a fighter.
really.
You
Not
do
really.
fight.
Nope.
You're undefeated. Yes, you
Yes,
are.
because I don't fight tough people.
Would you pull the clip up for a second? Pull the clip up. We have a little clip of me fighting. Look at this fucking. There's a lot of fighting involved in this. Hey, look at that! Oh no, God! Okay, alright. Let me turn the music down for a second. Let me test it out. Turn the mic back up. Turn the mic back up.
You made a video to make it look like I'm a fighter.
Look, you got punched in the head by Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, well, that doesn't take. You don't have to be a fighter to do that. You have to be a fucking idiot.
There's a video here where you
said, hey everybody, check out this fucking idiot on the screen. I'd be like, yeah, look at it. Don't say fighter, man. Let's be serious.
When you
that one fight,
that's
punch.
a real fight.
That's the only time I ever.
That's pink. That's pink punching you.
I'm getting punched.
You look at you.
Getting punched, man. It's always getting punched.
When you get punched in the face,
getting strangled. Yeah, go me.
How do you feel?
Fucking hell, man. Stay in school, kids.
When you're in the ring, what does it feel like? Is it fucking? Are you nervous?
Which part? Like when I'm winning or when I'm losing?
Either way, like how do you?
Oh, it's totally different. You gotta ask different questions. When you're winning, it feels awesome. When you're losing, it's really, really bad. Yeah, it feels like you're drowning.
Does it feel the same the next day though? Like it's just a lot of pain?
Well, it's different for me because I've never lost a real fight. I've only lost like a fight where I said I would fight somebody who's a million times better than me in front of all my fans. So I was like, I already knew when I accepted the fight that I'm gonna get knocked out in front of everybody and everyone's gonna go, that was worth it, Jason, thank you. So I already faced it before the fight happened. But all the other fights where I fight somebody that potentially it's fair, I won.
Yeah,
and then as I don't, it's not real. It's only like a couple of fights. If I did it for a living, then I would eventually meet my maker. That's what happens.
Yeah, but we don't do that. Like I texted like earlier.
Oh no, on normal people, I kick the shit out of you.
Right? No, I know.
Yeah. But MMA fighters that I go to the gym with all the time, no, I'm a giant veg.
Well, earlier today, I'm driving the car with Matt, and Matt is what we like to call in the business an asshole, right?
Yeah.
And so we've had situations like we were at the Rite Aid where I was buying something from the counter, and the guy behind the counter goes, "Oh, you're not trying to break 100, are you?" And he goes, "100? He's trying to break 300." And the fucking guy behind the counter like clammed up. The guy.
It was a bit quick.
Yeah, but he does that shit like he does it all the time. Right. So I was saying.
Well, at least he's doing it on his feet, not in, like behind the wheel. I respect the guy that can do it on his feet.
He does it all the time.
Because I can still punch you in the face over the counter. You know?
Well, what I realized was his roommate is a lawyer. And that's why he doesn't mind giving people shits and being a fucking asshole, because if someone fucking hits him, he can just sue them. That's why he lives with this guy.
It's an interesting theory.
It's never happened.
That's like talking shit in the ghetto because you got a bulletproof vest.
Right?
I can still shoot you in the face.
All right, we were talking about about your jump from being a professional skateboarder to being a hosting a show. How the fuck did this happen? How did you go from being a pro skater to then hosting a very successful show on SiriusXM?
Tony Hawk. It's really easy. If you know Tony Hawk, anybody can do it. Yeah, I mean, I rode a skateboard for a very long time, and I was friends with Tony Hawk. It was an accidental friendship because I'm a drug-taking maniac, and he's like a really nice person. And no one ever would have thought that we would, unite and become best buds. But we did. But that's like secretly between you and me. Is this recorded? Whatever.
Yeah.
In the end, after he made the 900, he drank a lot.
Oh yeah.
So we had a lot of fun. That's as far as it's gonna go. But he's fucked up. He's fucked up. Well, okay, he taught me about a cat in a bathtub. That's the one thing that I will tell you about.
He taught you about a cat in a bathtub?
He's like, you know what a cat in a bathtub is? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
He's like, it's when you fuck a chicken, you put the balls in the ass. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my God. And he's like, you don't know about that? I'm like, what? I don't have a cat. No. And I'm like, who are you? He's like, yeah, Tony Hawk. I'm like, wow, yeah, wow. No, that's not really. He did tell me that. He did tell me that. Are you serious? Yeah, man. Then he gave me his baby and left. He came back like 5 minutes later, but I was really scared. I've never held a baby before.
We had Tyler Shields on our show not that long ago. Did you know him back in the circuit when he was rollerblading and you guys were
Who?
Tyler Shields?
Who the fuck is Tyler Shields?
He's the guy that took the picture of Kathy Griffin holding Donald Trump's head.
But he was 13 and he was on tour with Tony Hawk and you guys back in the day. Like I don't know if he was.
Yeah,
He was like a
he
kid.
remembers you. You may not remember him.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Did he skateboard good?
He was a rollerblader.
He's a rollerblader.
Oh, then yeah, I totally rollerblader. He's not even look like that fucking photo. I hate rollerbladers. It's not a sport.
No, it's really
sorry.
It's
I can't stop that shit with me.
No.
Fuck what photo he took. He sucks.
You had a band for a while.
Once again,
Yes, you did.
Yep.
You had a
I'm a fake
band.
singer like you.
You actually had it. There was a band, and the band was called Death, Death, Die. That is a true thing that happened. I know it for for a fact, I know there's a music video out there.
No, you don't have
You take me for the timeline.
Okay, good.
For Death
But it didn't happen.
Die.
No, I had Tony Hawk's Taint Stick because I was trying to make fun because I was a DJ because I was like I'm gonna move to LA and retire from skateboarding and be the next Howard Stern. So I'm just gonna move to LA and I'm gonna talk over music and talk shit and fucking rule the world. It's gonna be a master plan. Trust me.
Yeah.
Just stay with me for 10 years and it'll work out. So I just talked a bunch of shit about everything and somehow people thought I don't know why people didn't tell me to like fire me. You know what I mean? Because someone said you can't say that, and I was like, I'm saying it. And then someone said you got to learn how to say stuff about music, so you need to use MySpace. Because I can't read or write, so MySpace was like, sure, I'll type in like the band's name, which took me a very long time, and then I would type it in, and I'd be like, look at these fucking morons. So instead of saying like how bad their band was, I'd say how stupid they looked.
Yeah.
And it was an accident. People just liked it. They were like, the dude with the accent is talking shit on the band is hilarious. And then I just got a job. Oh, you do that?
Look how much fun you guys are having. All right.
That song's called A is for Anal. The true story there is I didn't really like my wife anymore, so I got an A with a love heart around it, so nobody would try to have sex with me. And then I just had somebody had sex with me anyway or something, and I got divorced. But before A, my friend was like, "Oh, A for anal," and I was like, "Oh, that's a song." It's supposed to be for my ex-wife, but turns out I just really love anal.
Well, who could blame you?
But yeah, I did make that band to make fun of the bands that I was announcing, and then some big boss in New York said, "You're not allowed to play your band because it's not relevant." So then I made another song about what was in the news called "Can I Shoot a Load on Your Face?" I mean, the other lyrics were about what's relevant at that time, and then the hook was, "But can I shoot a load on your face?" You get the beat. But I remember being so happy because everybody that listened thought it was the greatest song ever. It's a really bad song, and my boss could not do shit. I shut his fucking ass down. He got fired like 10 years later. I'm still there. Very rich.
That guy. That's amazing. I love it.
Fuck it.
What about acting? You ever do?
No, I'm really bad at it.
Yeah, you ever?
I've done it, and I'm really bad at it. I'm in a lot of deleted scenes. One time, I'm good at dying, and I'm good at like, oh, I'm a crazy tattoo guy. Fucking basic asshole.
Yeah.
I can't be a doctor or, hey man, I don't have a voice. I don't do it. I just suck. I'm just a Neanderthal. I'm good at radio. That's it.
You really are. You're really great at radio. I love listening to your show. Your fucking show is fantastic, and you really don't have any problem touching on any subject. Is there anything that you ever like shy away from? Is there anything that you feel weird about?
No.
Have you ever had someone come on and be like, "Oh no, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't
Yes.
have said that." Like what? Like what type of stuff?
I mean,
sex
anybody.
stuff or was weird stuff? Like
No, I mean, I feel like I always used to think that it was, if I'm super honest, then you will, especially if you're egotistical, which is famous people, will match you. So if I'm like, I was molested when I was a kid, suck dick, go to glory holes every now and then, so everyone's gonna get uncomfortable, but, with prostitutes, what did you do today?
Right.
A lot of ego people are like, well, I did shots out of somebody's pussy. I'm like, wow, that's pretty harsh. Who says that? I'm like, whoa, why? Because I don't, I'm not famous. I can do what I do.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it is in there. We were hoping if you would you consider this? Would you consider this? Matt, would you mind putting the mic where it goes? Here's what I was hoping.
What does that mean in the context of this interview?
Yeah, we'll do that on Jason's show.
I don't put mics where it goes on my show.
Well, I was gonna
clarify real quick.
Different show. I was gonna ask you if you would read a little selection from your book. This is the book here. I'm Awesome. This is one of two books. You have a second book, and you're currently on a third?
Yeah, third one. It's been a long time. The second one was a joke, like, because that's a New York Times bestseller, so then they made me, like, you know what I mean, squeeze my dick for some sellout money.
Yeah.
And saying to like, make up some shit. Like, what it would be like to be totally awesome? I don't know. When you make up some shit, you know, have an accent, a lot of money. Stupid.
Well, if
that
you,
one's real.
Would you consider reading?
I can't read, by the way.
Just read like a little
People
bit.
don't know this. He sent me an email today saying, "Hey man, can you read from your book?" And I'm like, "I can't read." And then I was like, "Oh, he's gonna think I'm joking."
Oh no!
I mean, I really can't read.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's written.
Read it.
Jason Ellis' book written by Michael Tully because I'm an illiterate moron.
All right. Well, how about this? Glazer will read it. I'm gonna play the piano.
I'll put my sad face while he reads it. Is it gonna be sad bit?
Either that, or if you have a great story to play with piano, I don't want to step on the fact that your voice sounds amazing.
Like a sad story?
You want to tell like a dirty story, a very dirty, sexy story, and I'll play.
Yeah, something like way more interesting than me pretending to be you and my tattoos are not.
Especially if you do the accent, it's gonna bum me out.
Yeah, it's gonna bum me out.
Oh man, there I was with the shrimp on the barbie.
Hang on.
No, that's not my fucking story, dude.
Wearing sandals and cargo shorts.
Wait. Man. So anyway, I look weird, right? I'm gonna play this piano, I think it's good. So, yeah, I look funny, right? And when I go to glory holes, people think, man, is he gonna kill me? But what they don't know is I just want to get sucked off like the rest of you assholes. So why you gotta look at me so weird? Just because maybe I'm a little more into wolves than the rest of you. Is it a crime? I mean, really think about it. I got a wolf on my head. I'm not a murderer, just like animals. And gay sex through mysterious holes. So come on, homos. I can say that. Get down there and enjoy yourselves. Thank you.
Amazing. Jason Ellis, everybody. How great is that? All right, hang on, Jason. We have a special guest to end this night. Guys, the nighttime show will be back August 18th. With some wonderful, incredible guests. We hope that you guys return for that. But to end this thing out, here's a very true thing that happened. Jason calls me up. He goes, "Hey, we're going to tape an episode of our show live from the house.
At a reasonable time.
At a reasonable time." And I say, "Wow, that sure does sound like fun." And he goes, "Would you like to come over? We're going to play some games." And I go, "Okay." And so I show up at his house, and there is a lot of people at this house, including Tyler Posey from the TV show Teen Wolf. And he's shirtless, and the ladies are excited.
Why are you bringing that up?
I don't know.
You're making it like you're telling like a bunch of 14-year-old girls a story.
So anyways, here's what happens is, so then we have to all play ping pong around a ping pong
Sting
table.
pong.
What's it called?
Sting pong.
Sting pong. So
You
we
gotta
have to
do a
play-
circle.
You
You
go
gotta
around
lob
the
it over to the other person, they lob it back,
Yeah.
and then you put the bat down right after you lob it, and the person behind you picks up the bat. So you keep doing a circle around the table.
Yes.
The person who misses it has to sting the other person on the back. If they miss, they're out. If they hit, that person that gets hit is out. But the difference is when they get hit, then they have to spin the wheel.
Yeah, they spin
It's the wheel of candy or the wheel of doom.
Right, and so that if you end up with doom, like I did, you have to go into a separate room, which has mats all over the floor and all over the wall.
MMA room.
And there's an MMA fighter there, and he beats the shit out of you.
That's not exactly how it happens, but yeah.
It's pretty close, and he's here right now.
Eddie Jackson.
Eddie Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Eddie Jackson to the stage. Keep it going for Eddie Jackson. Show them the guns, Eddie. Show them the guns. Look at this. That's Eddie Jackson. Eddie Jackson, you are a MMA fighter. You do fight a lot. Is that true?
Yes, I do.
Yes, and you fought a lot of people that day, sir, and you did not go easy. You were going, I mean, or maybe you did go easy. You may have gone a little easy.
He didn't punch you.
Look, he took Ben Glebe and put Ben Glebe, the comedian, in an arm bar and had him on the ground, and Ben Glebe went, "Hey, come on, man, you're gonna break my arm." And he said, "Tap out, motherfucker." And Ben Glebe was like, "I'm tapping out," and fucking tapped out just before his fucking arm broke. It was the most amazing. It was so amazing. And you fought a lot of fucking people that day. You fought people all fucking day.
It was about what, 8?
Yeah, 8 or 9 people. I was one of those people. And
who won?
Yeah. Oh.
That's a saga that will continue forever, huh?
Yeah, really.
So mysterious. Who took that battle?
Who would have won in that battle?
You did better than I thought you would do.
Really? Did you really?
No.
I had not been in any sort of physical altercation in any way.
You could barely tell.
Really?
Everybody in the room could barely tell, too.
David watched, where, we have it. You guys want to see it? Yeah. We've never shown it before. So let's play it. Guys, guys, thanks so much for coming out. Jason, where can people find you if they want to follow you on the internet?
Fuck off. I'm mysterious.
Where can people find a good glory hole in Los Angeles?
Yes,
oh, that's like Santa Monica and who did the lady say?
What's her ghost? Is that my mom? What's going on back there?
La Brea or some shit. Just one upload from La Brea.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go.
Drop a pin?
You guys aren't ready for that shit.
All right, let's watch this thing and call it a night. Thank you guys so much for coming out to the nighttime show.
Maybe
There's.
I've been saying it my whole life, baby. Put it on.
I'm the fat one. If you need some help figuring it out.
One stretch, like that's gonna like.
Yeah. One stretch. That'll help. That'll help the situation. Don't worry, we're gonna get on our knees in a second. Suck off.
I did not catch that the first time, but anyway, you were flexing up and then you just stayed away.
This guy will get out of the way. Oh, I'm trying to be tough. I got my Reebok pumps on. I'm ready to go. What's that? Oh no!
It's for the best.
By the way, I'm wearing a t-shirt with Lindsay Lohan on it. Perfect for Mean Girls night.
That Russian, that Nazi guy that said shh while he was stabbing that one soldier in that.
By the way, this guy's got a great ass. If you're not already,
Thank you. It'll be in the glory hole.
Anyway, are we ready? 1, 2, 3.
Move out of the way.
You're the way.
You're the way.
We're good.
I fucking love that so much.
I look like you died.
I did kind of die a little bit. Real fast. I go face first in the fucking ground. I feel bad. Guys, you're the best. You did great, Eddie. You did great.
You did do great. You did not.
Really, I did not do great. Guys, thanks so much for coming out. I love you guys. Have a great time and drive safely home. The Nighttime Show.
Music.
the masters of the universe. I am Prince of Eternia, defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull. This is Cringer, my fearless friend. Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and sang, "By the power of Grayskull!" Cringer became the mighty battle cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret. Our friends, the Sorceress, Man-at-Arms, and Orko. Together we defend Castle Grayskull from the evil forces of Skeletor.
Courageous and kind, faithful and friendly, with stories to share. All through the forest they sing out in chorus, marching along as the song fills the air. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. An adventure that's beyond compare. They are the gummy bears. Magic and mystery are part of their history, along with the secret of the blueberry trees. The legend is growing, they take pride in knowing the fight for what's right, whatever they do. Gummy bears, bouncing here and there and everywhere. I adventure that's beyond compare.
Gummy bears or gummy bears?
With like different lyrics, like if I had with a giant penis, I want some idea. The people are, I was crying.
No, I would get that paragraph on it. My whole family.
Mine's for short. I asked her, can you send this?
My parents were old, so they were like 38. Just have
That's just